Back to David L. Boyd Field on the campus of the Boyd Buchanan School. Chris Goforth alongside Scott McMahon. Dave Keelan down on the field tonight for these high school rivalries. Boyd Buchanan, Notre Dame, first of 3 games we'll bring you this season on the CW. Notre Dame with a 12-0 lead here. 7:22 left in the third. They take over following the Boyd Buchanan punt. And a nice defensive job there on first down by the Buccaneers, stepping up and meeting the ball carrier in the hole. Christian Richards along with the senior defensive end and Skylar Anderson.
Nice way to start this series defensively for Boyd Buchanan. They need some sort of positive stop here, maybe a turnover, get something going to help them generate something on offense.
Skylar Anderson, number 7, the defensive end for Boyd Buchanan, here at the bottom of your screen. Heck of a baseball player. During the summer, plays down at East Cobb. There's the toss sweep. And breaking tackles. And he gets near first down yardage.
And that again is Austin Banks.
Wow.
And you mentioned East Cobb, but if you can even get in the gates at East Cobb,
you're pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
That is the who's who of Southern baseball talent from a high school standpoint.
They don't let just anybody in there, and we've got a player shaking up on the field. Looks like it's a Buccaneer that is down over there.
Looks like it might be some cramps. Let's hope it's nothing serious.
They'll try to massage that out there on the far side of the field. It's been a little bit of a hot and muggy night. We had some real heavy rain that fell for just a few minutes back in the first half, and that rain has kind of moved out, although we're still getting a little bit of a light shower here.
That's Jake Harden, and it does look like it's something he can walk off because he's coming off on his own power.
Harden had been playing linebacker on defense and was slated to be a running back at Boyd Buchanan. As a matter of fact, up until this week, he was number 15 until tonight. And because of the situation with the offensive lineman and the Buccaneers having some guys out, Jake Harden went from being a linebacker and a running back. Now they've made him a guard.
Got to have those kind of diverse athletes on your team, especially at the 2A level if you're going to compete.
Grant Reynolds told me this week, he said, I'm going to let him pick his number for being a team player and being willing to move positions. So he let him pick his number to be a lineman at number 54. Pass was completed and a gain of 4, and it's second down and 6 now.
Again, Kareem Moore shows some pretty good hands scooping that thing off the turf. It looked like it could have bounced before it got there, but the referee rules that it's a catch.
Second down and 5. Heltson calls the play at the line after it gets signaled in. And here's the snap, and it's Banks, big hole, straight ahead, running by people, 25, 20, inside the 10, down at the 5, and it's first and goal, Notre Dame.
This Austin Banks kid is amazing. When you couple him with their other offensive weapons, he's got the shifty moves, he's got the lean when he's running full speed, he's got a little bit of everything. He's a little winded in tonight's humidity, but Austin Banks, my man, you're going to sleep well tonight.
392 yards, 5 touchdowns for him last year. But last year we heard so much about Alex Doris, the quarterback. Right. We heard about Ricky Ballard, the other running back, that Austin Banks kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit. Now here he is tonight. 150 yards rushing in the first half. He gets the carry here on a first down and goal and steps in for the touchdown.
Untouched, Chris, really, and that's the shiftiness that he brings to the table. And you saw him kind of bending over and grabbing his knees there earlier, so he wasn't fully winded, if you will, but he could have fooled me on that.
He's just doing some of that yoga.
That's what it is.
It's
yoga move.
Yoga, that's all. He's fine, just a little
Throwing
yoga.
him off with a yoga move, and then boom, he blasted up there like he's some kind of speed back, which he is, obviously.
Now the wind is kicked up a little bit here, and it's blowing sideline to sideline. As on to attempt the extra point is Michael Quatrano, and they faked an extra point earlier. Let's see what they try to do here. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick, and it's good. It's 19-0. Notre Dame on top of Boyd Buchanan. 5:25 left in this third quarter. And so, Scott, now if you're Boyd Buchanan, you find yourself down 3 scores. And at some point in time, if you're the Buccaneer offense, you got to get focused now on some good things happening for your offense and try to take shots down the field.
I think there's no doubt that that point in time is now. They just have been non-existent, especially in the rush game, and Grant Reynolds is as frustrated as it gets. He have got to have some kind of positive if they're going to stay in this game, because Notre Dame, with that run game, is going to chew the clock and chew the clock and chew the clock some more. So Boyd Buchanan, it's a must that they do something offensively in this possession.
5 plays, 54 yards on that scoring drive for the Fighting Irish. Austin Banks, the 5-yard touchdown run. It's 19-0. Buccaneers send back the freshman and Jeremy Borders, along with Isaiah Dillard, to return the kick. And again, the Buccaneers need some momentum offensively here. Let's see if they get it on the kickoff. As it's high and end over end. And it's taken and bobbled by the freshman Borders. Picks it up at the 20. Looks for room, gets to the 25 before being brought down there. And that's where the Buccaneers will take over. First and 25, and that's where first and 10 at their own 25, and that's one of those things with a freshman back there returning the kick. Scott?
And you know what? Pat him on the back a little bit, because he didn't lose his head when he lost the ball.
And he stayed with it.
It could have been disastrous. He stayed with it and made at least some positive yardage after bobbling the opening kickoff. So for a freshman, that's pretty strong to keep your head in the game and move forward with the football.
And Borders, one of the fastest players on this Boyd Buchanan roster, and that's the reason why Grant Reynolds has got him out there right now, is they've got to find some speed to try to cancel out some of the speed that Notre Dame puts out there. Cardwell to throw, complete, Macon at around the 30-yard line. I believe forward progress should give him the 29, a gain of 4.
Notre Dame lets him make the catch, certainly playing good defense, but what do? They attack immediately, get him on the turf, and hold it to a minimal gain, probably a gain of about 2 or 3.
Buccaneer offense, the offensive line at least, they've struggled off and on throughout this season, playing without Eli Legg, who is out with an injured shoulder. Legg started 14 games for Boyd Buchanan last year as a freshman and was being counted upon heavily this year as Cardwell tries the right side. And again, can't get to the corner, and that's just that speed that Notre Dame brings on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Robert Kidwell, the defensive lineman, he gets the job done there, makes the penetration, and brings Cardwell straight to the ground.
Yeah, Kidwell at 5'10", 240. A little surprising how well he can move. You talk about having good feet. He got down the line pretty quickly. Boyd Buchanan last season went 12-2. They lost to Friendship Christian in the semifinals last year in 2A. Returned 5 starters back on this offense. Faced with a 3rd down and 11. Cardwell to throw, pass on a screen to Macon, and it's dropped.
Macon, when you're having troubles on offense to begin with, you got to make those catches that hit you right in the hands and try to make a play. Just probably tried to look away too quick before the ball was secured in his hands, and that's going to be 4th down.
4 minutes to go in the 3rd, and the Buccaneers will give it back to the Fighting Irish here. 19-0. Notre Dame leading Boyd Buchanan. Irish will get the ball back. Buccaneers will head into a bye week after this game tonight, while Notre Dame, they'll get ready for another district game next week. They travel to Pikeville to play Bledsoe County. Spiraling kick from Cardwell, fielded by Orr at the 40, 45. Midfield, down to the Buccaneer 46-yard line goes Kareem Orr.
And that was the shiftiness and quickness of Kareem Orr on the return there. Just a very talented player. Nice run. If he breaks that tackle right there, then it could have taken it to the house. But a nice play of Boyd Buchanan to get him on the ground.
And Notre Dame takes over in good field position. They've got it now at the Buccaneer 46-yard line. Invite you to join us again for our next high school rivalries. We'll have Baylor and McCallie here on the CW. That's coming up October the 4th. Mark that date on the reverse.
Yeah.
They fake the reverse. I don't know that play really ever developed there, Scott. They tried. It was bobbled. He's end up going down, dropped for a big loss.
It looked like Heltzel just didn't really have a correct handle on the football. The toss wasn't good, and the timing of that kind of a play is paramount, and the timing was blown up by themselves, and really they had no place to go. Buccaneers get a huge thrown for a loss there. I mean, they throw Notre Dame for a loss there, and now it's second and long.
And Austin Banks has come out of the game. He left with a little bit of a limp there, headed towards the Notre Dame sideline. Irish keep it on the ground. They get to the 50 following the loss.
Take out Banks, bring in Ballard. Charles Fant knows what he's doing on offense, and of course, you really look brilliant when you've got the speed and the quickness and the talent that those two guys bring to the table.
Third down and long, third down and 14. Notre Dame will shuffle some players around. Kareem Orr.
They have Flemister in the ball game too, number 8. He's the other receiver. He's got some moves himself.
That's Flemister. He is in the slot on the right side. It's Kareem Orr down here at the bottom of your screen. And here's Heltzel coming up, throwing. Incomplete. There comes a penalty flag. 3 flags get thrown, so everybody saw that. Looks like it'll be pass interference on Brogan Baker of Boyd Buchanan. Pass interference against Boyd Buchanan. And it comes on a 3rd and 14. So
wow.
If you're the Boyd Buchanan defense, just when you think you've got them, we got them right where we want them here on a 3rd and 14. Yeah. And you see Heltzel. And really a quick play. I mean, it's not like he takes a real deep drop out of that pistol and sets up and has to hold the ball for a while to get rid of it. He's flinging it very quickly.
And Baker's tried his best, but just got there a little too soon.
So a 1st down and 10 at the Boyd Buchanan 34-yard line. The handoff to the left. And that's Ballard. And he's spun down.
Good penetration from Boyd Buchanan's defense. Again, you've got to put that together 3 downs in a row. You can't play good defense on 1st and 2nd down and then give up a play on 3rd and long.
Austin Banks came out onto the field for Notre Dame and then turned and went back to the sideline, so I don't believe they're ready to bring him in just yet. Andrew Flemister, the receiver, bottom of your screen, split out wide to the left side. That's Orr, top of the screen to the right. And they'll try it again. Deep downfield, incomplete pass, no penalty flag. Trying to go for Orr over there in the corner.
Tried for the one-handed grab, did Orr, and that was an impressive athletic effort, although did not come up with it. And that brings up 3rd and about 11.
And if, again, you're the Boyd Buchanan defense, now you need to get a stop and get the ball back. And now you have them in a 3rd and 11. Let's see what the Buccaneers can dial up here defensively. Grant Reynolds, one of the best defensive coaches in this area. And I think that's part of the reason why it's so shocking when you think about a Boyd Buchanan defense. You don't think about the fact they're allowing 8 yards a rushing attempt as they were coming into this game. There's a penalty flag. This may be a delay of game against Notre Dame. Oh, it's offsides. It's offsides against the Irish.
Back them up 5 yards, and now we'll go 3rd and 16.
And if you're Grant Reynolds and that Buccaneer defense, you're thinking, all right, we just need something good to happen here.
No pass interferences. That's what the Boyd Buchanan needs at this point.
That's what they're thinking. Clock inside the 2-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Bucks show blitz. Here they come. Heltzel. Middle screen set up. Beautiful. 35. Dips a shoulder to the 30. Breaks a tackle. And he's going to get close to the 1st down at around the 25-yard line. And what a job by Austin Banks. He was limping around on the sidelines, and he comes back in, catches the middle screen.
Playing possum.
Watch this, Scott. Just refuses to go down.
Great formation on the play, too. They set it up perfect where they let the defensive lineman get past the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden Banks, he hits 1 contact. There's 2 guys. He drives through, keeps his feet going. Kids, mark that down if you're young. That's the whole key to being a running back. Really, any football player, keep those legs driving after contact, and you end up putting yourself in a situation as 4th and 2. You got a shot to make a 1st down here.
4th and 2 from the Boyd Buchanan 26-yard line. And Notre Dame takes a timeout. They stop the clock. 53 seconds left in this third quarter. Notre Dame with a 19-0 lead against the Buccaneers of Boyd Buchanan. And again, as we talked about earlier, Notre Dame steps into district play next Friday night. They head to Pikeville to take on Bledsoe County before they get a bye week. And then coming off the bye week, Scott, we talked about it earlier.
It's tough.
That's tough. You go at Signal Mountain, at Polk County, and then a home game against an improving Sequatchie County team, certainly improved over last year. And then you have Coalfield and Grundy County to close out the year, and Coalfield having a nice year, one of those teams that you always expect to see make a deep run in the November playoffs. There's our fan cam from Signal Mountain Pharmacy and Compounding Lab, and a good crowd here tonight. Now, a few folks made their way to the exits when the rain fell, but we had a good crowd here at Boyd Buchanan this evening.
You know, go back to talking about Coalfield. They're just above Harriman up Highway 27.
Yep.
And that's been a good football powerhouse for a number of years now. They can do some things when they get out of their district, out of their area or whatever. They are have been a pretty tough little team to beat.
4th and 2 from the Buccaneer 26-yard line, and that's penalty flag comes out. This may be a motion penalty. Yep, motion penalty against Notre Dame.
And again, Notre Dame, as nice as they've got a lead here, 19-0, they still have a lot of stuff to work on in practice this week. They're going to start taking on Signal Mountain. They're going to start taking on Polk County. You've got to run that offense and have cut down on all these penalties.
4th down and 7. We'll take a look at that Boyd Buchanan schedule coming up here. And after this play on this 4th and 7. Ball back to the Boyd Buchanan 31-yard line. Heltzel, the quarterback. The snap, being forced to run. Shuttle pass. And Kareem Orr will cover it at the 35-yard line.
As dangerous as that looked, that was probably a pretty smart move on Heltzel's part. He's not going to get a grounding there. There was an intended receiver close by, but there was absolutely no chance to complete that pass. It keeps you from losing the yardage back, but on 4th down, that's about your only option, right?
That's it. That's it. I mean, it was either that or take the sack.
Right. You saved your team, though, probably 7 yards there by that move. Even though that doesn't seem like much, we all know in football that could be the difference, on a field goal made or missed, or certainly a touchdown drive.
So the Buccaneers and Jim Cardwell take over. 1st and 10, Bucks from their own 31-yard line. Pope comes in motion. Cardwell fakes it. Nice read. Nice read by the middle of that defensive line.
Looked like
64 and Robert Kidwell.
Enos was in there as well, and they've just been impressive. With Keely Green added to them, Tyler Enos, Keely Green, probably a little bit comparative to Ian Meredith and LeBron Caffey from the 2005-2006 Notre Dame teams. Those teams made state semifinals each year, so that linebacker tandem is quite impressive.
Cardwell rolls. Throws, complete. Pass caught, and he stays in bounds. Let's see if the Buccaneers, Chris Lyon with the reception. Let's see if the Buccaneers can get off another play here before the end of the third, and they will not. So we head to the 4th quarter. It's Notre Dame 19, Boyd Buchanan nothing. Buccaneers have the ball when we come back. You're watching High School Rivalries, powered by EPB Fiber Optics. Make the smart move today.
You're watching High School Rivalries live on the CW Chattanooga, sponsored in part by Medeiros Siding and Windows.